Please join me in welcoming from the University Hospital of Leicester, CEO Richard, Chief Digital Information Officer Will, and Chief HR Officer Clare. Come on up here, guys. We really have a unique opportunity to hear it from 3 different perspectives here. Thank you for joining. Hi, hello, thank you. You guys are very awake for this time. It's near midnight, yeah. Richard, maybe we start with you. Give us the big picture. Look, this is impressive, but set a vision for us. What's the future of healthcare in Agentic era?
It's brilliant to be here, and thank you so much for the warm welcome in Dallas. So I've been really excited about this conference for the last couple of months. Great opportunity to meet like-minded people and to learn. I think whether it is global healthcare, whether it's the provision of healthcare in North America, South America, Latin America, Africa, Asia, Europe, or the UK where we're based, I think the thing that brings us together is our 3 big priorities. Okay. So in the organisation I work in, if you work in healthcare, I think they're similar. The first bit is around providing safe care to all patients, whether that's through curing them or preventing illness in the first place. The second bit is about being a great employer for all of your workforce. And the third bit is about delivering the money, working within our finances, being a more productive organisation. There's different ways of delivering those 3 priorities. I think the best way of delivering all 3 together in a unified way is Agentic AI.
Thank you. Will, how do you make this real?
Yeah, it's great because we've got a big vision about what the role of Agentic AI can play in healthcare. And sometimes having a really big vision is terrifying, right? Because you recognize that you might fall short, but sometimes it gives you the permission that you need to be really ambitious and take some managed risks. And I guess that's where we are. So in terms of kind of making it real, the first way is being really clear about what it is that we're collectively trying to achieve. The second part of that, I think, is really understanding the technology and the role that technology plays. I think for us, we'll always need those foundational technologies like RPA and other aspects of automation. But what we've seen is if we're really going to deliver this vision around transforming the way we work fundamentally, we're going to have to move away from that traditional digital behavior of kind of looking at a process and finding a way to digitize it and make it slightly easier to kind of fundamentally reimagining what that process is and what's actually needed in those scenarios. And for us, the big shift has been towards Agentic AI and Agentic Process Automation, because finally that allows us to have a system that can manage the context, it can manage the kind of the unstructured nature of lots of our work. And this for us has been the kind of key enabler.
That's fantastic. It sounds like changes go beyond technology in this, governance, teams, Clare, I'm sure human people and workforce. Tell us a little more, what are all other changes other than technology?
Yeah, so I think for us it's probably around sort of 3 things have made the shift and made the difference. So the first is that while the technology is fundamental, this is really about solving problems for our colleagues and for our patients. And so what that means in practice is that there are different people in the organization that lead on those processes. So Clare is a great example of somebody who leads on the people processes and really understand what the organization needs from that. So our kind of first shift has been away from thinking about this as a technology project to thinking about it as solving problems in the organization where technology plays a kind of supporting role. The second shift for us has been really about the return on investment. So we've all heard big promises from tech in the past, right? That it's going to be completely revolutionary.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And so we've been kind of really ruthless in both kind of tracking and realizing the benefits. So we're starting to see we've committed to a 3.1 times return on investment. We're already starting to see that in our organization now, just a few months into the process.
Did you say 3x return on investment?
3.1.
3.1, okay.
And then the final one really is about, and look, you probably would expect me to say this, but is about partnerships. Because lots of what we've done is stuff that you would expect. It's stuff that's relatively straightforward, but there's a huge amount of what we're trying to do which is really, really complicated and complex and hard. And there are times when you're looking for your partner and when it gets hard, what you really want them to do is lean in.
Yeah.
And for us, Automation Anywhere have been the perfect partner, because when it's got hard and complicated and we've got stuck with a problem, it hasn't been like, over to you guys. You know, you guys have really lent in and given us some help and helped us understand this technology in a way we just never would have done on our own.
Thank you. Look, we've never had the world's fourth largest employer before, so we are learning as well. So thank you. Claire, tell us the huge side of this is human beings, and the roles and responsibilities and how people think of work. Give us your perspective.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. A few things about this, and you'll all be able to relate to this. Everybody can relate to healthcare. It's a business that is about people, it's about patients, and it's about colleagues. And what the tech is doing for us is giving us the ability to totally transform the work that people do and how they do it. And for the first time, we're in a situation where the tech is actually working for the people rather than it actually being the other way around.
Yes.
And what that's doing in practice for us in clinical care, as Will and Richard have alluded to, we work in a complex environment. Our clinicians work in a complex, acute environment. And what the tech does is it frees up their capacity, so it releases time to care. It gives them the opportunity to do only the thing that they can do, which is spend the specific time with the patient. And what it also does is release capacity, so that within the same level of resources, we've got more capacity for colleagues to be able to train and develop themselves. So it builds their careers, their portfolios, and their abilities, their clinical abilities, which means that they've got a greater opportunity to operate at the top end of their license. And the final thing that I would say is that it actually inspires hope and opportunity for change. So working in an environment where actually you can be constrained around resources, whether that's the availability of other colleagues, the availability of finances or future investments, what this does is it gives people the opportunity to be able to see that change is possible. And I think that that's really inspiring. And where we get inspired colleagues and motivated colleagues, we know there's a direct correlation between improvements in patient care and patient outcomes. And they're the sorts of things that we're seeing in practice.
I've not heard that before, but it's amazing. You know, so much of media narrative is not so much about hope, but right? It gives people hope, and that's a different perspective. I know we have a limited time. Maybe quickly, one message you would give to your audience, each one of you, what would you tell them from what your experience?
Shall I go first? Okay, so what I would say and say to you in the audience is that we've seen the ability of some of the tech. We know that there's more to come. The pace of change is fast. As I say, it gives us great opportunities. Continue to make sure that you absolutely focus on the people, build the team, and create the right conditions for all of the colleagues to come with you.
That's good advice. Richard?
I'm going to pick up on Claire's point about hope. So we know that there are lots of challenges at the moment, but I also think there are many reasons to feel optimistic. So I'm going to use a quote, and the quote is, optimism is a duty. The future is open. The future is not predetermined. And we can all shape the future with the actions that we take. I think we all have a responsibility for the success in the future, and I think Agentic AI is going to be a key determinant of future success.
Spoken like a leader. Well,
how do you follow that? I guess my
that's why you always go before CEO.
I know. I wish we'd stood in a slightly different order now, and then yeah. I guess my word would be to the technologists in the room, which is, this isn't fundamentally about us. Like, we get that collectively, right? Our job is to serve our organizations and to deliver the change for them. And I think increasingly as we move to mainstream this technology, and it be not about the technology, but about how we work in our organizations, the role of the technologist then becomes one about serving the aims and ambitions of everybody else. And so I think for us, we have to try and reimagine our roles, not as people who drop technology into the organizations, but as people whose job it is to enable brilliant people to do brilliant things.
That's a great advice. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thanks
It's
for
what a
here.
unique opportunity to get a perspective from 3 different
Thanks
angles.
so much.